Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, I'm glad that someone has gotten into the chart routine, and I hope to see more people and more charts over the course of the rest of the session. I've got some in my, okay. Anyway, I listened carefully to the gentleman from Colonial Heights yesterday, as I do every day he gets up on the floor, and as I do to everyone who gets on the floor and talks about these critical issues that face us. You know, it really is important to listen carefully, because it's only if we listen carefully that we really understand where we're coming from, and hopefully it leads us to a path about where we're going to be going. I must admit, however, I was a little troubled with some of the rhetoric yesterday. I suppose that happens as we get through crossover and we move into the second half, but I hope we can tamp it down a little bit along the way. Here, you know, we haven't really even debated the budget, and we're hearing words like Washington-style politics. We've barely seen the proposal from the other side of the building, but it's already suggested that that proposal is a dead-on arrival. We haven't even had a vote on either budget. And already the accusations are flying that the body down the hall is attempting to shut down the government. We've got a long way to go, folks. Let's roll up our sleeves and see what we can do, working together to get things done for the Commonwealth of Virginia. The key to this, I think, is going to be to focus on the facts, and that's what we've been trying to do. So far, I think the facts have been undisputed. $5 million a day lost to the Commonwealth because of our failure to find a way to access federal dollars to address the coverage gap. Hospital losses, $314 million in 2014, $629 million in 2018. These are undisputed. If someone knows different facts, I'd like to hear them, because then at least we can have a discussion about them. $324 million that we are not accessing, that we can use in our budget process in savings for our general fund in this budget cycle, if we get the federal dollars to close the coverage gap. There are several other facts that maybe you weren't aware of. Did you know, for example, that the McDonnell budget, a budget, and this part was not changed by the House, includes $55.7 million in savings because of the ACA. That's money we've already decided to take from the federal government. If we were so concerned about their ability to deliver, we shouldn't be taking that money, but it's there. We should go and get more of our money coming back to us. The gentleman from Colonial Heights yesterday discussed some of the good things in the budget, and admittedly, there are many good things in the budget. There are parts in this budget that are good. No one should deny that. But he also neglected to talk about the monies that needed to be moved within that budget because we refused to address the coverage gap. Certainly, we put $118 million in hospitals. That's a good thing, because that helps them. But where did we get it from? You have to get it from somewhere. You can't print the dollars in the basement. Where did we get it from? We got it from taking from other investments. The Governor's Opportunity Fund, that's jobs, economic development. A number of economic development initiatives, that's jobs. Foster care initiatives, that's young people. Cuts in local law enforcement, that's police, sheriffs. We could have used some of the money to provide a raise for teachers who are still earning at about the 2008, 2009 rates. We heard an analogy early in the session about Lucy and the football. The analogy was Charlie Brown and Lucy's always holding out the football, and Charlie Brown keeps thinking that he's going to be able to kick that football. Every time he takes that chance, she pulls it away. Well, I would maintain, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, that we're moving the goalposts. We're moving the goalposts in order to refuse to take the federal dollars that should be ours. How are we moving those goalposts? Well, last year we started a process called a MERC. Good idea. We thought, okay, we'll put the MERC in place. We'll look at these reforms, these innovations, and when we put them in place, we can do something to close the coverage gap. So we put the reforms in place. We booked the savings. Secretary Hazel and a lot of people in the governor's administration worked very hard to put those in place. Would we get the expansion of the coverage gap? The answer is no. We heard early in the session that we would hear a list of reform proposals that would be offered, presumably in some press conference, that we would be able to analyze. Did we get those? Well, we didn't get those. The proposal was, let's do an audit. An audit after we've done 60-some audits. But okay, the governor says, yes, all right, let's do an audit. Let's not do it as a delay. Let's do another audit. That's fine. We're okay with that. Let's do an audit as part of Medicaid expansion. So do we get an answer on the coverage gap and closing the coverage gap? What's the answer? The answer is no. The other body down the hall proposes a way that's different than traditional Medicaid expansion. And make no mistake about it, it is really different. It is not the Arkansas plan. And if people spend a little time looking at this, you know, I admittedly have not spent a lot of time looking at this, but I can tell you this. It is not the Arkansas plan. Even the delegate from Augusta says it's not the Arkansas plan. You have to look at the fine print, and you will see it is not the Arkansas plan. So don't beat up the Arkansas plan, and we may have some problems with the Arkansas plan. So we have this proposal from the Senate. And what is the answer about finding a Virginia way? The answer is no, we cannot find a Virginia way. Well, ladies and gentlemen, members of the House, just say no is not a policy. Just say no is a recipe for gridlock. Just say no is to say let's shut down the government. At some point, we're going to have to conclude that we're going to have to work together to find the best way that we can bring money back to Virginia to help our hospitals, to help our citizens, and to make sure that we're not taking from the core services of government in order to avoid dealing with the ACA and closing the coverage gap. Thank you, Mr.